Fantastic. And do you find you learn more as you teach it?
Oh, 100%, 100%. It's always a learning curve with this stuff. It never ends as well. You know, you get to a point where you think, oh, there must be an end point and I'll be healed at this point. But we still live in the world. We still live among other people. So, you know, it's just a process of learning more about yourself. And I think it's that kind of removing all of the stuff that's in the way of what is your kind of authenticity, what is your fully connected, fully expanded, fully in the world and loving yourself and loving life in a healthy way. You know, all we're doing is removing the layers and doing that.
Yeah, fantastic. It's as you were talking, it's just interesting. You think, well, I know someone who's going through this and this and this and this, and so many of us could be benefiting from this sort of thing. So you've created your platform, the Embodied Singer. Why particularly does this? Is it just because you're a singer, or do you feel that this works particularly well for singers?
I think it's both. Firstly, you know, when I first started doing the work as a client myself, I didn't go to fix my singing. I went because I was in distress and I needed some help. It was to sort out my brain, you know, essentially, to sort out my mental health. And actually what I saw as I went through the process was, oh, wow, my singing is really changing. And the opportunities that were coming to me were changing, and people were starting to receive my singing differently. And that was so interesting to me. And that just kind of grew and grew and grew. You know, even like 5 years ago, I would never, ever have said, oh, I'll be at a level where I'll be singing on stage at Covent Garden. Ever. You know, that just wasn't in my mind as a thing. I would have, I mean, you know, in my dreams, sure, but, you know, not as a reality, you know. And every day that I'm in there now, I'm like pinching myself. I'm like, this happened because I did this work for myself, because I dedicated myself to sorting this stuff out, you know. So it really came from that. I saw the application of it with singers, and in fact, one of my supervisors is a dancer and a choreographer, and he uses it with dancers and sees amazing results. And it kind of made me think, in talking with him about it, it made me think, I think there might be something there that could really help singers. You know, we are dealing with survival reactions the second we step on stage, and then we have to open our mouths and think about all of the technical things that we think about when we're singing, and we have to think about the music and the words, and maybe it's a foreign language that we're not, you know, fluent in, and maybe it's a difficult conductor, and maybe it's really tricky music, and we've got to think about being in character, and all this costume is really difficult to walk in, and there's props there, and all my colleagues are doing random things today that I wasn't expecting. You know, we have all of these things whenever we step on stage. You know, if you're singing in a choir, you're thinking about the sound that people are making around you. You're thinking about blending. You're thinking about making sure that you're exactly in time with everyone else around you, that you're following the conductor, that you are enunciating enough. You know, all of these things.
Yeah.
It's impossible to do those things if we are also battling our nervous system, which is saying, get off stage now, this is going to kill us. You know, because that's essentially what it's saying. And that's where things like stage fright and blanking your words and stuff like that, you know, all of this patterns come in.
That's really interesting, because one of the things I've often talked to my students about is that I'm a big fan of boxing, and in the world of boxing today, there's this thing of building up a record of never having been beaten, and once you've been beaten, that's it. You can't get that back. And the confidence for a lot of people really goes. And I think for many singers, there can be an extremely good reason why something can go wrong on a certain day. But the fear that the audience doesn't understand that, I think in many ways, leads us to carry that into our next performance, our next performance, our next performance. So getting rid of that would be absolutely amazing. And do you see a lot of changes in your singers as you work with them?
Oh, I do. Yeah. there's a level of, I chose the title The Embodied Singer for a reason, because it is really about bringing people back into their bodies.
Yeah.
And cultivating a new relationship with their internal states, their internal physiology. And for most people, we live a very cerebral life. Most of us, we're not really in touch with our body. We know maybe when we're hungry and maybe when we need the toilet, but beyond that, we're not really kind of in touch with what our body is telling us.
Yeah.
So for me, what I want to do with this work is bring people back into relationship with their body again, so that they can get information from their body to use to live their lives. Your body will tell you when something is a no.
Yeah.
And you can decide whether or not you're going to act on that and change the situation that you're in, or whether you're going to just ignore it and carry on. It depends on the situation, obviously. But what I love seeing in my clients and my singing clients is that as they go through the process, the more embodied they become, the more this kind of deep-rooted confidence in their own ability to look after themselves, their ability to advocate for themselves comes through. And you really see it in their singing. Like, they suddenly are finding much more enjoyment. There's much more, weirdly, more freedom that comes with having more boundaries. For example, knowing where your limits are gives you more freedom. When it's coming from a place of the nervous system saying, okay, yeah, this is okay, then my God, then the magic happens, because that's when you can be in a flow state and you can just play, and it feels like the music is just pouring out of you and you're not getting in the way of it anymore.
It's fantastic. So I know people can find you on Instagram at The Embodied Singer, but you run a program for this sort of thing with people. Is that individual or in groups?
So I don't have a group program at the moment, but that is on the cards, hopefully for next year, because I think there's some amazing healing that can happen in group settings. And we definitely see that in choirs, in choral singing. The mental health benefits of singing are well documented. That's something I'd love to do, but for now I have a one-to-one program for singers, which I'm so proud of, and I've had a group of beta testers who've been going through it with me for the last few months, and they've been helping me to refine the content, make it the absolute best that it can be. They've had some amazing results, and we go in depth into a lot of psychoeducation, so understanding yourself and why you are doing the things that you're doing when it comes to your singing, and maybe some of the more maladaptive patterns, the unhelpful patterns that people get into around singing and around performing. We look at what's your nervous system doing, what you're singing, where are these patterns arising from, what is it that you're getting triggered by, that your nervous system then is reacting to, and then you go into these patterns. We look at moving usually when we have these patterns that are unhelpful, there's usually an element of self-attack that comes with it. So shaming, I shouldn't have done that. I know better than that. I should have done this and this and this instead. Like, why did I do this? What's wrong with me? This is very common. We all do this, but we can help to release those self-shaming thoughts, that self-attack, so that, the pattern is eased. We've released some of that survival energy. We remove the attack that comes in, and it just gives a space around the singers to really enjoy it much more. There's a different energy that comes with that, I think. We've seen singers who you can kind of tell that they're not enjoying it. Deep down, they might sound wonderful, but you're like, you're not having a very nice time. You want to go home, don't you? You want to put your pajamas on. You can kind of feel that as an audience member, and then you can tell, you can really see it, you can feel it. Actually, we respond, we resonate with the states of the people in front of us. Our nervous systems are incredibly intelligent, and they can tell us, they can resonate with the state of other people's nervous systems who are around us. So when you see a singer who is really enjoying themselves and they're really in it and they're just loving it, we can feel that. And that's what I start to see with my clients through this program, is that they come to this understanding of themselves as a singer, as a performer, through the work that we're doing. and it gives them this sense of enjoyment back, of confidence back, of slightly giving less F's, you know,
yeah,
about it, about what other people think, and just going, yeah, you know, this is me, this is my voice, this is how I want to express myself.
yeah.
It's a gift.
How would people get onto your program?
Well, they can contact me either through Instagram. I also have a website, so there's a huge amount of information on the website about the program. It goes into much more detail than I can go into right now, about actually what we do in the program and what the outcomes and benefits are that you can expect. There's booking links there. There's links to book a discovery call with me, which I offer for free, so people can chat through how it might work for them. I also have a free resource that is linked on both my website and on my Instagram, which is kind of a nervous system toolkit for performers, not just singers, but anyone who uses their voice in a professional capacity. And I always suggest that people try that out first, see what they think. And yeah, just get in contact with me. I love to hear from people. So.
And what is your website?
It's theembodiedsinger.com.
Lovely. I'll put that in the comments later. That's great. This is fantastic. It's so exciting to hear. And we've got some comments on here. Yuko has said, "Wow, I've never heard of it." And Nina has been using it, but never for singing, and lives next door to a therapist. Which is really, really interesting and exciting. And I know for those listening that, I mean, when one of my students came to me and said, "Do you know anything about somatics?" And I said, "Only that I know this woman who's doing it." And she said, "That's the one." She said, "I've just been having sessions and she's amazing." And it was you. But I'd like to say it to anyone who is watching this, either live or in person or on catch up. This is obviously really important work, not just for singers, but for other people. And the more people see this video, the more people are going to get in touch with this sort of thing, whether it be through Eleanor or other people. The way that most people are going to hear this is if you comment on the video, leave a comment. Don't just like it or love it. Leave a comment, even if it's only "Hi, this was me," so that the algorithm will make more and more people see it. But Eleanor, it's so good to have you on. Thank you so much for doing this and for letting us know that this stuff is going on, because I think one of the weird things, the more I learn in life, the more I discover I don't know. And the more I want to learn, and there's so many people who are completely unaware that so many resources exist, and it's great to have this opportunity to talk to you. So thank you very much for being on, and everybody get in touch with Eleanor, and it would be great. Thank you very much. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you soon. Bye. Bye. Bye.